Here he comes. Angles, remember to seep in there. There you go. It's only one Colossus. Focus it down. Get the roaches in range.
Yes, attack drones. That's exactly what I wanted to do.
Tell those hydras to focus down like the Void Rays or something. They're not going to win that fight.
You're so starved for gas.
It's because you're not taking your fourth gas or your natural. Transfuse. Transfuse. She's got one Void Ray in the deep red, now two. You didn't target fire the other one.
Yeah.
So this is a declining situation.
These drones are still mind controlled. Two base to do base, I just feel like I lose, period.
It's tough. It's very tough, yes. So one of the things that's kind of slipping here, and I've been a little bit more quiet just because those are high concentration points, but you don't have the towers, so you didn't see his Void Rays like cruising around. You do have every base scouted, but you're not dumping creep there, so you could delay those Nexus, or at least reveal that he's taking him.
I got observers. And I gotta get some corruptors out.
We require more minerals. Our forces are under attack. The high cluster is under attack. The high cluster is under attack. The high cluster is under attack. Our forces are under attack. Our forces are under attack.
Shit, shit, shit.
Okay, so let's talk about a couple of these things before we get this next game going. So here's like the exaggerated danger, and this is why this composition has so much success against Zerg. It's already hard to handle, the composition and style that I've been doing with you for a long time now because it's so aggressive. This build, this composition actually takes that to the next stage. The Void Rays, they're a flying unit. They offer a new mobility, a new way to be aggressive at multiple points, a new angle on where you expand, because if you just take a frivolous expansion off to the side, instead of them sending their whole army, they just send 3 Void Rays and it's shut down completely.
Yeah.
And that's really hard to deal with. That's very difficult to deal with. So again, it's kind of returning to those normal things, which is Zerg is slow off the creep. What are your ways to combat that? 1, spread creep, but 2, and probably the more accessible one, have the information, which is something as simple as having the towers. If you see 3 Void Rays heading over to the right side of the map, they're not particularly fast. You can get there in time to save a base if you have that information.
Yeah.
If you don't see them heading over there and they just show up, it's already too late and you're already going to lose that base. So, like the towers, you just didn't have them all game long. Not because you couldn't, not because he was shutting you down there, because you were just kind of caught up in the aggression of the game, which is, again, not at all your fault. It's a very difficult thing to negotiate, but that is what we have to negotiate. I think it's harder to play Zerg than it is to play Protoss, but I think it's also more rewarding if a Zerg player is playing on full cylinders. I really do. So this game, towers occupied all the time. Every base is dumping creep, and you're doing the best darn job you can to spread creep. And then as long as you're managing your economy fairly well, in terms of, like, you did lose out on some saturation, you forgot to mine your 4th gas, and you had to cancel, I think it was like 3 or 4 hatcheries.
Yeah, a bunch of them.
Which really hurts your economy, and that's why your army looked pitiful in comparison to his. But there were points in time in that game, even with all those mistakes and throwing away 3 queens somehow. We both didn't see
mystery.
it. Yeah.
My guess is they attacked photon cannons. Because that's the only thing that makes sense.
I guess, yeah. With the same kind of with that stuff, like you take those mistakes out, you're spreading creep, you're occupying the towers, dumping creep at every base, and your army composition is relatively the same, and you're still monitoring your drone count, you are going to overrun him this game.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. So that's the goals. Now, obviously, it's easier said than done. Whoops. I just type that in a window.
That's okay. How do you like our new BattleNet 2.0 chat rooms?
You can tug people into them without them accepting or denying. You just invite them and they're in it.
That sounds terrible.
So all day, ever since I've patched, I've been tugged into chat rooms. And I'm like, what is this? And they're just like, oh, hey, so glad you could stop by. But it's like a tractor beam, so it's not even...
I will make 50 chat rooms and invite you to all of them.
Yeah, exactly. You just close it out and you leave. But, it's just taking that, like, impersonal StarCraft 2 experience to the next stage. It's like walking down the street and someone can just tug you into their house and they're like, hey, why'd you do that? Well, I can. Okay, I'm gonna leave now.
Oh, that's funny. Alright. Every time I play this map, I swear to God.
Yep. And it's like with me, too. I don't know. I have it in 1 vs. 1 mode, so I know for a fact that's supposed to, like, randomize your starting locations, but...
Alright. It's okay, we're going to be more mobile this game, and we're not going to let that Void Ray crap be annoying.
Yep. Occupy the towers. 3 queens. 1's like solely to spread creep. It's exactly what Morrow does. And then your army composition just reflects what he's doing. I mean, I like that you never overreacted. It's not like you made pure Hydras. You're not supposed to do that. Your Spire was a little bit late, but that was more because of how many hatches you had to cancel and your poor saturation than anything else. But just stay calm. Stick to the, 2 base, 0.3, like, or not 0.3, but take the 3rd base, but have strong saturation the whole way through. One of the other misconceptions is Zergs feel like they have to have, like, 5 bases. You don't really. Don't lose the drone, though. It's okay to be annoying, but if you lose the drone, the joke's on you.
Yeah.
Ah, run, 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 run. Okay, go back home. Thank you. Seen way too many drones die today already. It's been a holocaust.
We require more minerals.
I don't think it heals it. I'm not sure.
The hive class
Used to in Brood War.
Oh, not completely, but the time that he's building, he regenerates.
Oh, it does? Okay. Same thing. Those Zerglings need to make a beeline for his base. Get that information.
Hey, I don't need to be mining with those guys, do I? Okay. Really, I would have liked to have taken his gas there.
Yep, I'm a big proponent of that. It is important to note, though, that just narrow their builds into, like, 4-gate or fast expand.
Yeah, I did
A
it
lot of
earlier
people have a
today.
tough time with 4-gate.
Did it earlier today, and I just got Korean 4-gated. And I thought I held it
Yep.
off, and then I made a round of drones, and I died.
Yep. If it's Korean 4-gate, it's a pseudo all-in. There's very little reaction after that. Very rarely can you actually overreact to a Korean 4-gate. Okay, so good. Getting that good information of those lings. again, for the viewers, is really important. Maximize the information of these lings. Also, creating an aura of aggression once speed kicks in. He's not entirely sure if this is like probing for a timing or just straight up getting information. I'm gonna start that layer pretty ASAP here.
Queen finishes.
Transfer the drones. There you go. And again, it's close positions. You can preempt with like a Hydra timing if you've ever done that. The giraffe migration, people call it, or you can just play standard.
I've tried it a few times and I just can't seem to get the build right.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay away from this game.
Roach Warren's just a smudge late, I believe. You want to aim for a quarter when the layer's through.
Oh my god, my ear is itching.
Okay, now pretty soon here you're going to want to add a couple lings. So again, you can occupy those towers. Get those overlords in position. You've already got one overlord that's kind of... You got 3 overlords inside your base that should be heading to expansions. Preparing to dump creep. Speed and burrow should be started right away. So you're a little bit behind on that. We know he's fast expanding, and we know he's doing it off the backs of a lot of sentry. Something you've seen a million times before.
Yep. I think we've practiced that a time or two.
Yep.
There's the Phoenix. I would make an extra queen, but I can't.
It's not a real Phoenix, though, because it's doing 0 damage to the Overlord. There's the lings. Don't get overzealous, though. There you go. Good. Wolf Tower's occupied. All bases are going to have creep dumped on it, and this ling, make that your expansion strike force. So instead, when he goes and tries and takes one of those secret expansions, and you don't have to send your whole army, send the lings.
I want to take a third right now.
Now, I do want to... I don't know what... Okay, you do have Overlord speed. Great. So now I'd make an Overseer, and that Overseer can stay in his base all game long. And I'm a huge proponent of corruption too. I don't think enough people use that.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
there's too many overseers with 200 energy.
It is so hard to remember to do that, I guess. That's why
It
we
is,
practice,
yeah.
right?
Well, I think there's just a lot of little things that people don't do with Zerg that I really think change the full dynamic of Zerg. There it is, and it's a Void Ray. You can see it.
A little bit later than I'm
It's
used to seeing.
fantastic. Yep. So extra couple of queens probably for the time being, and then tech the hydras, as you are. And keep this creep spread going. So you're actually a little bit underemphasizing that, and I think that's what's going to hurt you. As far as expansion placement goes, you've got the towers, so at least you
I
can...
sent a drone. Where did he go? Oh, there he is, halfway.
Here comes this Void Ray. Got to be on it right away. And then bring that Overseer in there, and you can corrupt something.
Our forces are under attack.
See the robo with that Overseer?
Our forces are under attack.
And one thing to note too, this is not army time. He doesn't have a massive army, so that means you need to be droning.
Yeah,
Like, make sure your saturation's full.
Getting that one round of Hydras out.
And you don't have the Hydra range upgrade going, and I like one evolution chamber for +1 range attack or something like that. I'm a big proponent of that. Ah, there it is. See, he's trying to expand now. Did you see that?
Totally missed it. But I see everything, so if something goes down, then...
Let's just say you caught it. It's the right main.
The lings.
Try to build. Yep, that's what I'm trying to get at.
That's what they're there for.
Well, they're not moving. It's the right main.
I don't want to cheat. Oh, now I see it.
Well, it's
Sorry.
not cheating. You built it right next to your Overlord. We're just pretending you're better than you were 2 minutes ago, I guess.
Macro slipping, need to get some drones transferred.
Overlord